Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Greetings everyone. Welcome to segment 2 of reading. In this segment, we will be dealing with the pre-skills of reading. There are various pre-skills that the child needs to acquire in order to become an efficient reader as he grows up. Let us go see one by one. The first skill that we can see now is narrative skills. The child should be able to describe things and or events that he is seen or that he has been through. And then print motivation. The child should be motivated to read books or to read all the printed materials that he comes across in his way. The other skill that the child should possess is vocabulary skills. The child should be able to name the objects that he is seeing or that he comes across. Yet another skill is a letter knowledge skill. The knowing that each letter is different from one another, and also knowing the names of each letters basically, and the sounds that are associated with each letter. And the child should also be able to recognize the letter wherever he sees, whether in the paper or on a hoarding or on a textbook or by letter by himself or on a magnetic slate. Either way, he should be able to recognize the letter. The other skill is print awareness. Basically, how to handle a book, how the text is printed in the book, and how it goes from one page to another page. And yet another skill is the phonological awareness, which means the child should be able to hear the sounds and also manipulate with it and play with it. That these are the sounds that are found in the words, they together form a word. Now, we will go into one by one to see how each skills can be imparted in various ways. The first skill is narrative skills. When we ask a child, what is your name, what reply does the child give? The child simply answers his or her own name. Now, we should encourage the child to answer in a sentence. Why do you think we should do this? Because we ask the child at a later stage to write a detailed answer or read a detailed answer and descriptive answers. All of a sudden the child is not going to get the skill. To acquire this skill right from the pre-primary age, we should encourage the child to talk in complete sentences. When the child is asked his or her own name, my name is so and so, Ramu, Rani, like that. The same way, when what did you eat today morning? Idli. Not in monosyllable, not just one word answer. The child should be encouraged or told to answer in complete sentences. I ate 2 idlis today morning. First, the narrative skills have to be developed for speaking. Only when we get the speaking skills right, will we be able to read perfectly at a later date. Hence, this forms one of the important pre-skills that the child needs to acquire. Now, I am just going to show you an apple. When I show this to the child, I can ask questions like, what do you see here? It is an apple. How does it look? Small, big? Does it look hard? Ask them to feel it and say, does it look hard? Or when they are going to eat it, ask them to describe. Maybe you can ask them to take a bite and ask them to express their feeling as to how they felt when they bit the apple. Was it tasty? Was it sour? Was it sweet? And later on, incidentally, in this same fashion, we can go on building the vocabulary of the child too. For example, in this apple itself, what are the associated words that I can link with the word apple or with this object apple? What can I make out of it? Jam, juice, pie, and how does it taste? So, you get the taste part of it, you get the color, where are the different colors, you have green apple, you have red apple, you have the sizes of the apple, you have the feelings and what all, how does it taste, or any story that can be built out of an apple, that apple fell from a tree, or anything that around the word or the object apple can be built, and this helps the child to enhance not only his narrative skills, but also his vocabulary. Let us now look at the print motivation skill. It is basically how we are motivated to read a book. Just take it for our example that there are no pictures in the book. We ourselves do not feel like reading the book or taking a book and reading. So, as a child, the child should be motivated to read a book, for which he should be presented with, first of all, age appropriate books. In case of pre-primary years, like an example, a book with lot of pictures of animals or birds or some stories like bunnies or Rapunzel or whatever stories it may be, and the books should be of his or her own interest. Generally, children at that age love to see animal books or books like houses where it is open and all those, so there are touch and feel activities. This way we bring an interest in the child to take a book and look at it, and this will enhance his reading skill, because at a later date he will get the habit of taking a book and reading. The next skill, print awareness. This is how the child is handling the books. Normally at young age children hold the book this way. Now the child should know how to hold the book, how to turn the page and follow the lines that are printed there. This way the child is taught to know that there are printed matter on either sides of the page, and he or she should write and read from this everywhere. Why is this skill important? Very often you see children even at the 3rd grade or 4th grade, that though they have studied really well in their examination, they would be answering all that is here, that is being questioned here, whereas the questions and the back do not get answered. It is not because that they do not know, it is because that they do not know that there is something printed behind and there are questions there for which they have to read and write the answers. That is where this skill makes an important part of reading. Another skill that the child needs to acquire at his pre-primary years is the letter knowledge. Each letter, for example A, B, C, D, has its own name, and also they have a sound that is associated with them. The child will have to know their names individually and also the sounds that are associated with them. Now, not only that, the child should recognize this letter wherever he or she sees the letter. For example, on his or her own textbook, on hoardings, on newspapers or any other printed material, or also in isolation. So, this knowledge is very important for the child, for him or her to become an efficient reader. We all saw that the letters have individual sounds associated with this. From this, we know that the child should acquire the knowledge of sounds of letters. Now, in phonological awareness, the child should be aware of the sounds, should also be able to play with it or manipulate with it. Only then he or she would become an efficient reader. Studies have shown that those children who are efficient in this aspect or this skills later on tend to become an efficient reader. Now, another important sub-skill or the pre-skills that are required in phonological awareness is the ability to rhyme. As children, we all teach them rhymes, but why are we teaching them rhymes? There is an essential quality associated with it, because this enables the child to identify or associate the words instant word recognition and helps the child to read fluently at a later date. We have just seen what are the pre-skills that are required for reading. Now, we will look into some of the activities that will enable us to build these pre-skills of reading. Kindly have a look at them. One of the activities that we are now going to see is matching. Here, the child learns to match the shapes, patterns and the letters. For example, if you see on the slide, the child is able to match the triangle with a triangle or a circle with a circle. This is one of the earliest pre-skill that the child learns as and when he develops reading. And next, this is learning the patterns, like what comes next. Here the child acquires what is a pattern. This enables the child to get the letter pattern in place. Like for example, here what we have shown is a rectangle, a circle, a rectangle, a circle. What will come next? The child is able to judge a rectangle and next a circle will come next. After acquiring the matching of the shapes and the pattern, the child is now able to identify the letter. Now, from here the child matches the capital letters with the small letters, like for example, A to A or B to B and or D to D. Now, we also said that matching includes sounds. So, when I say the letter sound, for example, when I say the sound of the letter A, the child is able to match the sound what he or she hears to the letter A and also to the small a. This way the child is able to also get the letter sound association in place. We just saw rhyming words is one of the important pre-skill that a child needs to acquire for him to become an efficient reader. Now, we will get into it. Rhyming words, for example, I can take an object. Now, can you just tell me the object with names with the rhyme at? We have cat, we have bat. Yes, you can come up with some more like rat, mat, pat. Yes, they are all rhyming words with the word cat. This is done with an object or pictures. Now, we get on to other things, like suppose I am just going to ask you, give me words that rhyme with the word bag. Yes, tag. Here we have got tag, gag, lag, nag, stag. This way the child is able to identify the words at one go. He is able to get the pattern and get the rhyming words in place. Another activity to build the rhyming words in a child could be asking him to identify the rhyming words in a poem. We all of course teach poems to our children. For example, here we have row, row, row a boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Can you just tell me what are the words that rhyme here? Yes, it is stream and dream. This also enables the child to help him learning the rhyming words, which is another important pre-skill for reading. Another important pre-skill that has to be imparted to a child is directionality or direction. The child should be able to know how the books go in reading. For example, in English language, the book starts from the left corner and it goes to the right. So, the child should be able to know when he opens a book that there will be words be printed from the left corner and he has to start reading from the left, go on to the right and again come back to the left and go on to the right. Instant, we all remember we will be asked to keep a finger or a pencil and we keep tracking. So, this is an important essential quality that the child needs to develop in order to read efficiently. He needs to track the letters or track the words that he is reading from the left to the right. Now, for this we can do a simple activity. We have to start from the left. You should not move your neck, only your eyeballs should move. Kindly have a look at me. It stops here, come down, again start from the left, come down. This has to be done for a child if he finds it difficult to track as and when he reads. This can be done with our own pointer finger, or we can use any external object if the child is finding it difficult to track with his own finger. This is an important activity that could be done on a daily basis to improve the reading skills of a child. At the same time, he should be also taught how to navigate, like how to turn the page from one to other and read thoroughly and continue the pages, so that he does not skip lines while reading. Another skills which we are just going to see is the motor skills. Here both the oromotor and the fine motors are linked. Here the child learns to write the letters and at the same time verbalizes the letter. For example, when I write the letter A, I say A. Suppose I write another letter C, C. For example, let us take the word mug, M, U, G, mug. The child, as and when he writes, is also able to say the letter and write. The child here learns to write the letter and say the letter simultaneously. In this segment, we saw the pre-skills of reading and the activities that can be done to enhance or to develop the pre-skills of reading. In the coming segments, we will be seeing the 5 essential elements of reading. Thank you.